Good morning and welcome to the Vision Alignment Show, where we all understand how important it is to recognize that we all have blindness in our lives. Oh, if we can understand our blindness, and sometimes we need to put those blinders on, but sometimes we need to take those blinders off in order to see what we're missing. But once we put those blinders on and we focus on our vision, then we're able to be so much more happy, so much more successful, so much more in tune with who we are. It makes all the difference in the world if we are aligned with our vision. So that's why it's so important for us to understand our blind spots, and so important for us to understand where our blind spots come from. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that today. Stick with us. We're going to have a great day. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. And if you want to hear more, stay right there. Awesome, and welcome back. So let's start off. We'll just make sure that this is all copacetic, if you will. If you would share this out with as many people as you can think of, that would be great. And then, as always, put in a hashtag live and tell me where you're coming in from. Now, I see Mark Husick is on, and he's coming in from Wisconsin. Thank you very much, Mark. I'm so glad to see you this morning. So that's good to have you on. And anybody else that is on as well, please let me know where you're coming in from. And hashtag live. If you're listening on a replay, put in a hashtag replay. And as always, make sure that you put a picture in your timeline. And once you do, you'll be entered into a raffle to win a free signed copy of my book. Sometimes it does take a brain surgeon. Now, when you put that picture of you winking in your timeline, hashtag Brian with one eye, hashtag of winking with Wagner, then also tag me on it, tag me Brian Wagner on the picture, and then I'll see it. You're going to be entered in that raffle. So we're going to continue to do this. So it's been a lot of fun. Anyway, what else? Share the video out, hashtags and picture of you. Yeah, I think that's it. So anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about blind spots this morning, how important it is for us all to understand our blind spots. Hey, good morning, Amron. It's good to see you this morning. Thank you very much from Powell, Ohio. That's a good place to be. So we're going to talk a little bit about blind spots this morning and how important it is to see them. But you can't see your own blind spots. If you could see your own blind spots, they wouldn't be considered blind spots. That's why it's important for us all to understand that we need to go outside of our comfort zone, outside of our loved ones. A lot of times, we need to experience other people and get to know other people. So sometimes it might be a coach that you might need to talk to, or a mentor, somebody that's outside of your circle, but still somebody that knows you. Not somebody that loves you. So when you get into a situation where you have someone that loves you, that tries to tell you about your blind spots, they're going to temper what they say. And you don't want them to temper what they say. So think about how you can do a better job of finding out what your blind spots are by going out to outside resources. Now, for me, what happened with me is I had been consulting with a guy or talking with a guy, not consulting, that sounds like a fancy term, but I've been talking with a guy, and his name was Tom, and he was trying to help me with my business. And after the meeting, after one of our first meetings, he called me on the phone and said, "Hey, I know what you should be doing. You're not even thinking about this, but you should be helping other guys like you that are dealing with stuff, dealing with medical issues, life-threatening medical issues, and they want to get back into the workforce." So getting back into the workforce for me didn't mean going back to a 9-to-5 job. Didn't mean going back into corporate America. For me, it meant entrepreneurship. And that's why he understood that's where I should be talking with other people. So I've met with a lot of people. Tom is one of them, but another guy named Brian is another one that helped me a lot to see my blind spots. Sometimes they didn't always tell me about it, but they just forced it on me. Like, "Hey, Brian, you're doing this, and you should be doing this." So helpful, very, very helpful to have all those people in my life. So that's been very important for me and how I've been able to grow in my business. But there have been other instances where I've had my wife, God love her. We've been married for 30 years, and all those years have been blissful, mostly. But it's been important for me because she sometimes helps me to point out my blind spots. And I don't always receive it very well. I don't know about you, but for me, when I get feedback from my wife, and sometimes I don't always ask for it, that's not always received very well. So if you can receive it better, if you can receive it as a gift, and anytime you receive feedback, you should receive it as a gift if you've asked for it. So if you've asked for that feedback and you've said, "Here, I want feedback on this one specific thing. I want feedback on," for me as a speaker, I want feedback on how am I communicating with the audience, or am I getting engagement with the audience? Are people interested in my story? And then maybe I'll ask about transition. So I'll ask about one specific thing, and then we'll be able to go farther with that. We'll be able to talk about how I'm doing in that area. So that's where it's so important to have a sounding board, somebody that sees your feedback, somebody that sees your blind spots and gives you feedback. That's very, very important to have. So that for me has been pivotal in order to be able to see my blind spots. So really, it comes down to blind spots. Who do you have that sees your blind spots, and how do you work with them? So you got to find the right person to see your blind spots, and then you've got to ask them for feedback. Okay, you found the person, you asked for the feedback, but then you have to be specific with that feedback. You have to really know what it is you're asking for. And then the fourth thing that I would say is to be timely with the feedback. So you go out to somebody and you ask them a question, you ask them for feedback. You need to make sure that when you're asked for that feedback, you ask for it in a timely fashion. For me, I would say I have a speech coming up next week, and I would like for you to be able to go out to my speech, or maybe listen to it, or maybe hear it, outside of the speech. I can practice it for you. But then when you hear that speech, I would want you to offer me feedback in a specific area. So for you, if you're in a 9-to-5 job or whatever the case may be, you want to make sure that you're getting feedback on specific items, but those specific items you want to have feedback on in a timely manner. So you don't want to have it be directly right after you speak, or directly right after the instance occurs, because you're too close to it. For me, anyways, that wouldn't work. I don't want to be that close to it. I want to soak in the glow of being able to speak and to move people. For you, it may be different, but I want to make sure that I have time to really feel good about it. I don't want somebody to come right out and crush me with feedback that I've asked for, but understand how important that is. So that's one of those things where asking for timely feedback is important. Now, you don't want to go too long. You don't want to have it be too far after you've had this instance where you've spoken, or you've been working on this project. So you want to make sure that you ask for it in a timely fashion. And then, like I said, you need to accept it. Accept it as a gift, because you asked for it. And anytime you receive a gift, what do you say? Thank you. That's why it's so important to receive feedback as a gift, because not only are you gonna do damage to that relationship if you don't receive it as a gift, but you also need to understand that you're not going to get feedback from that person in the future in the same way, and they're just trying to help you. So understand how important it is to receive that feedback in such a manner that you give that person the ability to speak freely. And that's what I've got for you today. I really want to make sure that we talk more about feedback and blind spots, and how important it is to see through our blind spots, because I've had a lot of people that have helped me to see through my blind spots, and I want to be able to help you as well. Who else do we have on here? Oh, there's Randall Reader. Good morning, Randall. Toastmasters give immediate feedback to presentations. Yes, you're right, Randall. Toastmasters is a great place to be. And you're going to hear a lot more speeches come from me over the next few months, because I'm working on a big speech that I'm going to be giving here. I'll give it in August, and that seems like a long ways away to a lot of people, but it's not that long away for me, because I have to record it because we're in a hybrid mode with the COVID, with the pandemic. But I have to record the speech, and what they'll do is they're going to play that speech back to 700 or 800 people, and it'll be there to help them. It'll be there to help them. So as a part of the overall conference, so there's going to be 700 or 800 people that are going to be online, and I think they'll listen to it at various parts of the conference. But then there will also be 300 people in person. So I'm going to be going downtown in August for this in-person meeting, and a little weary about that, because I have not done any of those conferences yet. But there'll be 300 people in person, and I'll give the speech. So that's one of those things where it's hard to get through. Sometimes you need to make sure that you continue to push through that. With the speech impediment that I have, it is what it is. I need to do a better job of embracing that. But only having had it since November, it's still difficult to be able to process. But I know that the people there are going to get a lot of joy, a lot of excitement, a lot of movement, a lot of inspiration, all that from the speech. So I need to get more comfortable with giving the speech as I give it. So yes, I'm working with a speech coach, our friend Randall David Crone, who's a great speech coach, and he's done a phenomenal job. But I'm getting to the point where I need to start practicing it. And when I practice my speech, I need to make sure that I focus on words that are sometimes tougher for me to say, and incorporate words that are going to be easier for me to say, because I sometimes get stuck on my tongue. I'm sure you don't hear much of it, but obviously my wife hears a lot of it because she knows me, and it's one of those things where it's been hard to get through, and it's probably my own blind spot. But I know that it's out there. I know that I have it. I need to embrace it, and I need to help people to understand that it's okay to have speech impediments. You need to embrace that and go forward. So that we'll look forward to that. You'll hear a lot more from me here in the coming weeks, coming months. But anyway, that's what I have for you this morning. I am so glad you're here with me. As always, share this video out with as many people as you can think of. That would be great. And then what else? Oh, it's Friday. So we've got a big lineup for you today. Oh my gosh. I gotta make sure I'm gonna tell you about this. So Friday at 11:30, we have coming on April Juke. And April is a phenomenal person. She has 9 kids, 3 of them with special needs. So they're autistic, or they have autism, or they're deaf. And so she moved her family, her new husband. Now it's 12 years as of today, but she moved her husband and 9 kids from Utah to Texas about 3 years ago. So I really would love it if you could come and join us for that call at 11:30. You're going to hear more about what she went through and how she does what she does. I mean, she not only moved her family, but she also became a teacher, and she taught herself how to sign. How do you do that? So she's a phenomenal resource, phenomenal person, and I'm just really looking forward to having another conversation with her. We talked back in February on the Vision Alignment show, but now she's coming on the Radical Vision for Disability show, and I'm so looking forward to having her on. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Then next week, we've got more great speakers coming on. So we have Cara Soletto. If you, for those of you that know who Cara is, she or don't know her, she is coming on at 10 o'clock on the Vision Alignment show, and she's talking about how her vision is aligned with her core strengths. So that's her company is called Magnet Culture, and I'm looking forward to having her on there on Monday at 10 o'clock. So I appreciate you all being on. And then Tuesday, Roy Tuscany with High Fives organization. He helps people that have disabilities to be able to do whatever they want to do, sports or whatever the case may be. So look for him to come on. He's coming on the Vision Alignment show because his vision is aligned with his core strengths. So that'll be great. Looking forward to that. Wow, there's a lot going on. So it's been good. We have a football game tonight. Believe it or not, our best friends, the Gowinses, they live in Plain City. They have a son who is playing his last college football game at Ohio Wesleyan, and he will be playing that game at 5 o'clock tonight. So we're going to go over to their house, watch the football game. Not anything you'd ever expect to do in April, but hey, we're doing it. So that'll be good. But what else? Oh, and then this weekend, it's Easter. So I'm going up to see my mom, going to have a good time with her, and just enjoy the time. And I hope you do as well. And if you're not able to come back for the show at 11:30, have a great weekend, and I'll see you at somebody else comes on. Oh, how did that happen? I don't know how Randall's note happened again, but thank you. I appreciate you all being on. If there's ever anything I can do for you, please let me know. And remember, as always, keep one eye on the road.